I'm a great believer we are visual metaphors. And what I mean by that is this says, I know where I stand, I know what I think. Anything to do with this basically says, I'm not that sure about anything, actually. And it's a metaphor we use in the language because we'll say, I like that man, he knows where he stands. Not sure about that man, he seems a little shifty. And it's actually a word we will use to describe a person's personality, but physically you're getting this manifestation. Now actually, Michelle stands very, very well. The only tiny little thing is this tendency, now this looks very camp when I do this, so let me off on this one, is the tendency to stand on one hip. Now there's nothing wrong with that, but when you get tired, you go over to the other one. And so you start speaking like this, and then it's like, I changed my mind actually. No, maybe I'm back to where I was before. No, maybe not after all. So you get a visual vacillation. So my recommendation always is get in contact with the floor before you start. So literally you get there, can I feel the floor? Can I feel the floor? Yes, I can feel the floor. Don't say it out loud, obviously, but just inside your own head. And I remember working with a lady once who was absolutely petrified, like, oh my God, I'm going to die, this is awful, this is terrible. And when you start like that, it's very hard to get solid afterwards. So I said, next time you go out there, you do not start speaking until you can feel the floor. And so literally she comes out, we see this. Morning, ladies and gentlemen. So it's just a second or 2 seconds, but in that moment you sent a very powerful message to the room, which basically says, what I have to say is important. Not I'm important, because it's not about you. What I have to say is important, so give yourself a moment before you start to get absolutely solid.